Take2 TV. Galvanizing, lyrical, soulful, captivating, entertaining. Take2 TV. Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Take2 TV. And tonight I'm so excited to have my dear friend Tia Bullett joining me. She and I go way back like rocking chairs, and I'm so proud of the things that she's doing. And tonight I get to share Tia with my Take2 TV audience. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Tanya. I really appreciate you asking me to come on and share my story. And I'm excited to be on here. I've heard great things about this program, and so thank you for having me.
So we're in season 1,
okay,
and you know, we are trying to really work with our audience and encourage everybody not to stop where it happened, because we go through things, right?
That's right.
So if I asked you to, in one word, sum up Tia, what would that one word be?
I think it would be the word strength, or just strong.
Strong.
Yes, strong. Yes.
And that's a big word, right?
It is.
That's
It
a
is.
huge
Yes.
word.
Mhm.
I am the oldest in my family, and somehow I'm always looked at for strength.
Yeah.
So strong is a big word.
It is.
So unpack that for me. Tell me about that.
I guess just turning 50 last year, and looking at this
Beautiful
new decade. Thank you. Looking at this new decade in my life, I look back over the years and I say, wow, I've been through a lot. Probably like, any other strong African American woman, but when I look back and then when I see where I am now, I just come up with the word strength, because there were so many times I probably could have failed or let go or given up. And instead, I just kind of persevered.
Yes.
So.
And that is really huge. I mean, I know your story because we've worked together on Chocolate for a Cure.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But talk about those times when it was really rough.
Yes.
But you didn't stop where it happened.
Right. I think my first challenge with life, and everyone goes through them, and they bounce back. But I have to honestly say I had a fairly good upbringing. I had both my parents in my home, and you're the oldest, I'm the youngest.
Oh yeah.
Of 7 children. And so being the youngest, I had it pretty easy because I had a lot of people kind of set examples for me. Yeah. Both of my parents got the opportunity to go to college. So I think when people were experiencing things and like in their younger years, I was kind of looking back like, really, this happens in life? Because I'm good. Yeah. So I was literally getting married about 32, and by 39 I felt myself like going through these challenges. Mm-hmm. And before you know it, I was going through a divorce. And after the divorce, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Mm-hmm. After that, it was, the death of family members. And then I experienced all this stuff late in life where, people were like, oh, I understand. I didn't understand growing up, but now, after going through that, I do. Yeah. I do.
I think a lot about purpose. I said this on one of the other shows we had, and I'm going to share it with you also. Okay. Somebody said to me, the 2 most important days in your life. Mm-hmm. The first day is the day that you were born, and the second day is the day you find out why. Wow. And that, I still haven't been able to shake that. Because what it says to me is we were born with a purpose.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so, as you talk about some of the things that you've been through, what did you find is your purpose?
Right. Well, I figured after, an ugly divorce, and I was still standing, that, the man above had something ready for me. I was just like, really, God? You're going to take me through this divorce? Like, I thought, I got married later in life, wasn't fresh out of college or, I wasn't even thinking about marriage in my 20s. So I figured, I waited later in life. So, I got a good person and this is going to be, we're going to have a family and white picket fence and everything. Never thought that, I'd find myself going through, a divorce and an ugly one at that, and then trying to regain myself from that, put myself back together again and say, you know what, there's something more on the other side. So that's that purpose. And whatever it is, I'm going to just stick around because this couldn't be the end of all. So, maybe there's something else or someone else out there for me, but I'm going to stick around and see what's next.
That's right. That's right. You mentioned it a little bit ago that you turned 50. You turned a beautiful 50.
Thank you so much.
So turning 50, you look at it and you think, okay, whatever, this is the next opportunity, right? So do you look at your life as a continuation at 50 or a brand new chapter?
Definitely for me, a brand new chapter. Yes, I mean, it's so many things I still want to do. And when you think about turning 50, you're thinking, well, you're already halfway there. So if you haven't taken that opportunity to do something yet, when are you going to do it? That's when I had to question myself, like, okay, again, there's still a purpose for me being here because at 50, it was a challenge for me because I had a brother who was killed in a motorcycle accident at 49. So, he didn't get to see 50. Then, right when I'm getting ready to turn 50, my dad passes away. And he didn't get to see me turn 50. So it's kind of significant in that, 50 being a new decade, that there's something more that God has there for me. And again, I can't wait to see what this new decade has.
I often say that the things that we go through are the curriculum for what we're here to do and what we're here to accomplish. There's so many things that I know you draw from. And so, as you're moving with Chocolate for a Cure, I want to talk a little bit about that because the things that you've gone through have really, really positioned you to be able to be so successful with that event, which is a fabulous event, by the way, October the 6th. More to come, but talk about how you evolved into Chocolate for a Cure.
Okay. Well, again, going through, turning 40 at the time, so a little over 10 years ago, I had another experience where a really good friend and sorority sister of mine was diagnosed probably about a year before I was. And, she's overseas. Her husband was military, and she didn't go and get checked. She just, assumed something was going on, and she said, I'm going to wait till I get back to the States. And I was like, you better get that checked. So she did come back to the States. She did get checked and got maybe a second, third opinion, and found out that it was breast cancer. 3 beautiful kids. And at that time, we were leaning on each other because I was going through my divorce, and she was, she was diagnosed. Within a year, I get diagnosed. And so now we're leaning on each other even more so. But as I'm getting diagnosed and going through what I went through, she passes away. And that just, of course, tore at my heart. Because I was like, all right.
And she was your roommate in college, right?
Yeah, she was my roommate in college, a good friend, good sorority sister. And I just, I'm like, okay, like, God, okay, you're testing me now. Because, this is a little too much. But, the saying that, I guess, quoted from the Bible, that God never gives you too much that you can bear. So you may think that. Because I was thinking at that time, and believe me, I was just like, okay, I pulled on my family and pulled on my friends, and, I was school teaching at the time. I was just going to school and had major attitude, major, just felt like the whole world was just crumbling down. So with her death, I decided, and with my diagnosis, decided that, hey, this is becoming major. It's happening a lot with African American women, more so, women of color. But I only could speak on what I was experiencing and who I was. and what I experienced from her. So with that, I said, you know, Tia, you got to do something about this because you were lucky. She wasn't so lucky. Here at that time, I had gone through my divorce, so I was back to being single and, you know, had no kids.
Yeah.
She had 3 beautiful kids she left behind. So I'm like, what can I do in her name? You know, she and I love chocolate. We love chocolate. What woman doesn't? What woman doesn't love chocolate? So it was a combination of the play on the word chocolate.
Right.
Chocolate also representing women of color.
Yes.
And for the cure.
Yeah.
For a cure is what I had to change it to because, you know, so many other organizations out there with that for a cure, for the cure. So I said, you know what, put those together. It's going to be a play on the word chocolate, and I'm going to come up with chocolate for a cure. And there you have it. And I'm going to make this geared towards women of color in underprivileged and underserved communities.
That's right.
Because I'm finding out there that when they're diagnosed and they don't have the insurance or have the support, financial support, that you know, they tend to overlook what may be something that could be caught soon, early detection.
That's right.
Which was my case, but not the case for everyone.
That's right.
So that's how it started, and from there it became a lot of researching and just, you know, we did more like galas and more knowledge, and then 3 years in, I was like, you know, this is growing, this is getting big. You know, this, let's make this, you know, 501c3. What do I need to do? Let's, you know, we're getting so much support and sponsorship. Let's, you know, and so here we are going into the 8th year for Chocolate for a Cure. So,
and it's not, and what I would say is Chocolate for a Cure is your annual event. Yeah. But breast cancer awareness is your, this is the life that you live. Yes. Educating and encouraging women. And really, I know that you've had some dynamic guest speakers at the event that has also, they have also helped to educate women on, you know, really, really early detection is a big thing. Oh, yeah. But I do think I read somewhere that chocolate was good for you.
It is. Chocolate is very good. There's an ingredient in chocolate, and I wouldn't even begin to try to pronounce it because every year I have to say it at the gala, and I just, me not being a doctor, I just said, well, okay, we know there's an ingredient in chocolate, and more so dark chocolate, that is actually good for you. That's right. You know, it has an antibiotic, and it's supposed to be good for your blood. Yes. So a combination of that with a little bit of wine is also good. Absolutely. So that becomes my, that's my sweet tooth in the evenings when I want, you know, a little glass of wine and some chocolate. So that was even more confirmation that, okay, we're going to bring in a chocolatier specialist. Yes. We're not going to just bring information about breast cancer, all of that is the main focus, but let's see if we can get a chocolatier specialist to come in and make some chocolates or display various chocolates that are good for you. And with that being the center focus, folks were able to, you know, try different chocolates and sample different chocolates, and then we turned that into, like, let's make this more of a, you know, vendor hour. We have vendors and then the chocolate and then the wine, all that before we had these amazing guest speakers. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yes. So, you know, I keep up with you.
So here's my question. What's this running thing?
Oh, my goodness. The running. I know. I kind of slacked off a little bit.
Not just running, winning things.
Yeah. I just did the Marine Corps Marathon back in November. In Washington, D.C. Which required me to train, oh my goodness, tremendously. It's like in detail, in depth, to get prepared for it. Right. So I thought it was, you know, a great opportunity to, you know, get some exercise, stay healthy. Yes. But it was also on my bucket list to do a marathon. Now, mind you, that was my third one. And it may be my final because now I did one at 30 and that was good. I waited 10 years later, I did one at 40. Okay. That was fine. Now, when I turned 50 last year, that was my third and maybe final one because I'm starting to feel it a little bit in the knees now, so we'll see. But yes, love to run.
All right. So as we approach the end of our time, what advice, I think is so important when we endure. What advice do you have for that person that's in the middle of their right?
Right.
And we've been through those things, and there have been those moments when we thought, I just cannot walk another step. I can't catch my breath.
Yeah.
This is the worst. Lord, what are you doing? What advice do you have for that person that's in the middle of their
Well, I would tell them, first of all, I always tell people, never look like what you've been through. Keep a smile on your face. You're going to have some moments. You're going to have some ups and downs.
Yes.
And believe me, it's tempting. I know I went through thoughts of, do I need to be here? I'm single. I don't have any kids. I don't have a husband. I don't have a family. Brothers and sisters, they'll be all right. Do I need to be here? Yes. Yes, we're here for a purpose.
Absolutely.
And until you find that purpose, until you find that it, or get over that it, life goes on. Life goes on. And you got to kind of persevere and stand with it,
Absolutely.
I try every day to just keep a smile on my face, despite what I may be going through. Because, I'm like, this is just, a test. It's a test from God.
Yeah.
You're either going to pass it,
Right.
you're going to fail it, just like any other test. That's all he's doing. Testing your faith,
Yeah.
testing to see who the focus is.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was saying a little bit earlier, that it feels as if things just come in like a flood, when you have a divine purpose to accomplish. And, the key really is endurance, right?
yes.
To endure and to draw on the strength of those that have gone through things before you. And, I feel like what you've gone through and endured, I feel like it has really grown into a huge, huge contribution for women, especially, and this week is important.
Yes, yeah, coming up we have Mother's Day weekend. So, with Mother's Day weekend, my suggestion is spend time with your mom. If your mom is still living, spend time. If, your mom has passed, talk to your mom, Now that my dad's passed, I'm talking to him every day, just kind of get through. But it's very important as women, as African-American women too, to make sure you're getting your mammograms, taking care of your health, and taking care of each other. Because we do need to support one another.
Support one another,
Yeah.
and encourage each
Yes,
other, and
yes.
ask those tough questions.
Yeah.
Have you had your mammogram?
Exactly. It's important.
Tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Have you really had it?
Exactly.
And if you
Exactly.
haven't and you need one, the good news is there are lots of options.
Okay.
If you are funds short, you can have your mammogram free.
Exactly. Exactly.
So how would they find out information about that?
So with Chocolate for a Cure, what we do, we provide free mammograms to women. The donations that we raise for the gala, we bring that in. We represent 3 or 4 women from the underprivileged communities and stress to them about getting a mammogram. If we can just do that to get everyone started, that's a big contribution that we get for Chocolate for a Cure. We want to keep that going. So whether we can help you or another organization can help you, just make sure you go and get checked, because early detection is the key.
Is the key, absolutely. And Chocolate for a Cure, I don't want to miss the opportunity to mention again.
Okay.
If you're here in the Charlotte area, or if you want to catch a flight, it will be October the 6th. It is a fantastic event. I enjoy it, and I happen to sit on Tia's board.
Yes.
So I'm a proud member
Exactly,
of the
yeah.
Chocolate for a Cure board.
I put Miss Tanya to work. That's right. She's a big supporter. And I brought her in.
Yes. And I'm just proud to be a part of it, proud to know you.
Yes, thank
you. And see all of the great things that you are doing.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me, Tanya. I really appreciate it.
All right. So we are at the end of this session, and I'm calling it a session because, these are things that you can record and store and pull up again when you're going through a rough period as a reminder that you don't have to stop wherever it happened. We're both folks that have endured.
Yes.
And we don't look like what we've been through. I don't think so.
Not at all.
All right. So every Friday night, 8:00 p.m. Eastern, you can tune in to Fire Stick, Roku TV, Apple TV, WBNDTV.com. And you know what? I just found out that if you download the WBND TV app, you can pull up live TV right there. Or you can go to my website, Take2now.net. Until next Friday, remember, you don't have to stop where it happened.
Take2 TV. Galvanizing, lyrical, soulful, captivating, entertaining. Take2 TV. Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. Galvanizing, lyrical, soulful, captivating, entertaining. Take2 TV. Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. 30 minutes of real life people, real life stories, real life victories. Only on WBNDTV.com, Fire Stick, Roku TV, and Apple TV. Take2 TV.